The idea of this series is to look at bike parking at cafes across Perth to show that it can be a completely normal thing. And this is just something that council should be doing as a matter of course. So today we're off to Wembley and we're going to look at a cafe called Pearth, I think. No, we're not looking at this place. This is across the road. This is the equivalent of Bicycle New South Wales. And as you can see, they've got some bike parking hoops out the front of their office. But for some reason, on the other side of the road here, bike parking seems to be, well, non-existent. This cafe, though, God, it's absolutely great. I really liked it. If I found this cafe a couple of months ago, I probably wouldn't have eaten anywhere else, and there wouldn't be a series like this. But we're looking at bike parking, and there wasn't any bike parking. Food, though, absolutely smashing. I had the mushrooms on toast, and tasty as. I don't care if something's vegan or vegetarian or organic or not organic or whatever. I like it to be tasty, and this place was tasty. Also really well presented. I saw the sweet potato and carrot fritters go past, as well as I think the apple pie pancakes. Looked really good. I can understand if West Cycle, if they go across there for breakfast, lunch, coffee, all that kind of stuff all the time, because yeah, it's pretty good. Now, across the road, we can see outside the pub, they've got a bike parking loop, which is interesting. That's an Irish pub, by the way. It's quite good to go there. Best Guinness in town. And there's another bike parking hoop there. But I couldn't see any where I actually wanted to stop. So don't ask me why one side of the road, like a pub and a business, have got bike parking loops. But across the road at the cafe, there don't seem to be any bike parking loops. And, I thought, should I just chain the bike up against a pole? Nah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to lean it against that tree because I'm going to sit next to the bike and, no one's going to nick it if I'm sitting there. So it'll be okay. So I just plonked it in the garden and that was that. And I'm sure I'm probably not the first person to have done that. Now, how about getting here? Well, there's the shared path that runs up alongside the railway line. That's that green line, and I was coming up from the city to our right. And what I should have done is, in fact, stayed on the path all the way out to Hamilton Street, jumped off there, and then just ducked through the back streets to this organic kitchen. But instead, I completely misread the map, and I got off at Loftus Street because I didn't realise that was an off-ramp that I could have used. It's like sometimes the maps just aren't that clear, or I just don't look at them that closely. So what I did is I jumped off here, and wasn't the most comfortable ride up Railway Parade, but I did find these two cafes. And again, I hadn't really studied the map and didn't realise they were there. So, Element, it's Element, not Ailment, or Element, Element. And I think it's open probably just Monday to Friday because it's in an office block, so it might just do that kind of breakfast and lunch for office workers. Interesting looking place. Although it's in this very modernistic designed building, I think they've still tried to soften it up. This is the only bike parking I could find. Tricycles and dump trucks for the daycare centre, that seemed to be about it. There didn't seem to be any other bike parking there available. And I knew I had to go in this direction, so I just followed these people up the road. So I got to this very noisy corner. I thought, what's going on here? Oh my God, there's another cafe. And this place was absolutely heaving with people, quite noisy. Seemed every CrossFitter in the western suburbs had turned up for breakfast. So I gave up any thought of coming in here today. But, notice again, I couldn't see any bike parking. That tree seemed to be the only bike parking available. And the bloke on the left there with a bandana, he had an e-scooter. He was just had it leaning up next to him. So, yeah, bike parking, it's certainly some in the area. It's just not in a convenient place. I mean, it looks really good, solid, secure, but it just needs to be shifted around a bit. Anyway, to get back to the shared path, I just kind of ducked around the corner and came up here to see what was here. So there's the shared path down there on the other side of the railway line. And okay, I'll show the on-ramp in a sec. And it's the lumpiest on-ramp I've ever been on. But, this just shows where the ramp is and the path. Okay, that's all good and very easy to get to. So what I should have done is gone along the path, gone up the on-ramp, essentially done a U-turn really and come back up here. But if I'd done that, I never would have found those cafes. So Highland looks like an interesting place to go back and check out. I don't know if I'll get a chance to do that this time, but we shall see. But this ramp, oh my goodness. I mean, it doesn't look that bad from the front view, but I'll show you the back view in a second because it was just like this series of giant steps. I know these days they need to put in kind of flatter sections for wheelchairs and things, but that really, turned it up to 11. It was quite unbelievable. Let's see if it looks a little bit better this way. I mean, it's almost like going off, jumps on a mountain bike course or what do they call those things, like BMX-y type things. That's what it reminded me of. Not a commuter path, but anyway, something for kids. Anyway, food, absolutely great. Service was really good. Coffee was not too bad. Street was really noisy. I didn't like that aspect of it. It was very much like Five Dock, where your conversation's just drowned out by traffic. But I'll definitely come back here, that's for sure. Highland, I'll try this, and I'll have a look around to see if there's anywhere apart from that tree to park a bike. Element, I don't think I'll get a chance to try there. But maybe when I'm in the area, I might drop it and chat with West Cycle and see if they can tell us anything about the bike parking.